Country music icon Carrie Underwood has done the unthinkable. She's secured a billion-dollar legal victory that has left Hollywood reeling. A win so unprecedented, it has forced an entire industry to question its very foundations. But how did it come to this? How did a single performance lead to a courtroom showdown, public outrage, and a final verdict that could potentially reshape the future of entertainment? Buckle up, because this is a story no one saw coming. Carrie Underwood, the Grammy-winning country star who's known for staying above the fray, suddenly found herself at the center of a media firestorm. It all started with what should have been an innocent performance. She was invited to perform America the Beautiful at Donald Trump's second inauguration. First glance, it seemed like an opportunity to showcase her talent, stay neutral, and avoid the political landmines others had stepped on. But
here is the View link weighing in. I know you were waiting to hear what Whoopi Goldberg had to say, and I have it for you. Take a listen.
I would not normalize him. And she says, I love our country. How do you love your country and support and normalize somebody who was a convicted felon who really wants to destroy the country, in my opinion? I don't understand how you say you love your country at the same time as you normalize this convicted felon, which I can say now every day.
I agree with you, Joy. I can't sing a lick, but I certainly, and I have not been asked, but if I were asked, it would be a hard no.
Well, people do what they do for whatever reasons. It's like Joe and Mika. Yeah. They did what they did. They felt that's what they needed to do, and I got to stand behind them. If I believe I have the right to make up my mind to go perform someplace, I believe they have the same right.
Of course.
And so
That's
I have
true.
to. I have to support.
Of course, she has the right to do it. What an inane point to bring them all together. Like, what? She's saying absolutely nothing.
Nothing could have prepared her for what would come next. The moment she stepped on that stage, she unknowingly lit a match to a cultural powder keg. The performance itself was flawless, her vocals soaring through the cold Washington air, but the reaction was far from what she expected. Underwood was quickly caught in the crossfire of America's deepening political divide. Fans from both sides of the aisle either hailed her as a patriot or branded her as a traitor. Suddenly, her intentions were being questioned. Was she making a political statement or just doing what she does best, sing? What should have been a proud moment in her career turned into a public relations nightmare. And the backlash came fast, especially from one unexpected source: The View. Within 24 hours of her performance, the hosts of The View, Joy Behar, Whoopi Goldberg, and Sunny Hostin, took their seats on national television, ready to dissect Carrie's decision. What happened next wasn't just a discussion, though. It was a full-blown attack. Joy Behar, in her usual biting style, questioned how Underwood could perform at such a polarizing event. Sunny Hostin went even further, labeling Underwood's performance as a direct endorsement of Trump's policies. And Whoopi Goldberg. She didn't mince words, saying, Carrie Underwood's made her bed, and now she's going to have to lie in it. The three hosts were relentless, turning Carrie into a symbol of the country's divide. And they didn't stop there. They mocked her intelligence, implying she hadn't thought through the consequences of her actions. They ridiculed her values, insinuating that she was out of touch with her fan base. It was brutal. And worse, it was broadcast to millions of viewers who took their words as gospel. Comments sparked a media frenzy. Suddenly, every outlet was weighing in, from gossip magazines to mainstream news. Underwood's performance had become the headline, not because of her talent, but because of the controversy now swirling around her. Sponsors began to distance themselves, radio stations hesitated to play her music, and public opinion seemed to shift overnight. The narrative had been hijacked, and Underwood was trapped in a media storm she never asked for.
I personally hope we're moving beyond the era of politics where we want to cancel people's livelihoods because we don't like their politics. And whether it was the Dixie Chicks for criticizing George Bush, didn't agree with it then, and Carrie Underwood, if you have a problem, you register your complaint by not downloading her songs and not going to her shows.
Right.
But I also think from a business standpoint, it's not a bad decision for Carrie Underwood. 75 million people voted for Trump. Artists tend to skew left-leaning.
But this wasn't the end, it was only the beginning. Carrie's team remained silent, at least at first. They were in damage control mode, hoping the storm would pass. But it didn't. The more The View discussed Carrie, the more the industry turned against her. Country music, an industry typically rooted in traditional values, suddenly felt uncomfortable associating with her name. Brands that once begged for her endorsement deals now ghosted her, unsure if her reputation could ever recover. And Carrie? She felt betrayed. She had spent years cultivating an image that avoided political polarization. Her music was about storytelling, emotions, and life's ups and downs, not about politics. But that didn't matter now. The damage was done. The more silent she remained, the more the narrative spun out of her control. In Hollywood and Nashville, Carrie's name had become a lightning rod for controversy. The message was clear. Even the most beloved stars weren't safe from the media machine when it decided to chew someone up and spit them out. It was clear to Carrie that the hosts of The View weren't just offering their opinions, they were shaping the public's perception. And that perception was that she had chosen a side. Behind the scenes, Underwood was quietly preparing for a fight. But this wouldn't be a public PR battle, this was headed for the courtroom. She knew something had to be done, and when her legal team started digging, what they found would change everything. Behind the scenes, Underwood was quietly preparing for a fight. But this wouldn't be a public PR battle, this was headed for the courtroom. She knew something had to be done, and when her legal team started digging, what they found would change everything. Months into the fallout, a bombshell dropped that would turn the entire situation on its head. Carrie's legal team had uncovered leaked emails, internal communications between ABC executives and producers of The View. And these emails painted a very different picture than what the public had been told. In one email, an ABC executive explicitly told The View producers to push the Underwood controversy hard because it was driving ratings. They admitted that Carrie wasn't really a political figure, but that portraying her as one would spark enough outrage to keep their viewers hooked. More emails surfaced. Some even suggested that The View hosts should focus on tearing her down not because they genuinely believed in their criticisms, but because it was good for business. Carrie wasn't just a target of political opinions, she was a pawn in a ratings game. This was no longer just a public shaming. This was media manipulation. And Carrie, along with millions of others, had been caught in the crossfire. Armed with this damning evidence, Underwood made a bold move. She filed a defamation lawsuit against ABC and The View. The lawsuit accused them of intentionally defaming her character for financial gain, spreading lies that damaged her reputation and career. It was a high-stakes battle, and many questioned whether Carrie had any real chance of winning. After all, defamation lawsuits are notoriously hard to prove. The media has protections, and opinions, even harsh ones, are often considered fair game. But Underwood's legal team had something most defamation cases lack: evidence of intent. As the case unfolded, it became clear just how far The View and ABC were willing to go for ratings. Witnesses testified that producers knew the damage their comments could cause but pushed forward anyway. They were more interested in fueling outrage than in telling the truth. Carrie Underwood had been used. And now she was fighting back with everything she had. After months of intense courtroom drama, the moment of truth finally arrived. The jury's decision shocked Hollywood and the media industry alike. Carrie Underwood had won. And not just a small victory, she was awarded a staggering $1 billion in damages. It was a verdict that sent a clear message. The days of unchecked media manipulation were over. Case had exposed the ugly underbelly of entertainment, where public figures could be torn apart for profit with no regard for the truth. For Carrie, it wasn't just about the money. It was about vindication. She had been dragged through the mud, but she refused to let the media rewrite her story. This victory wasn't just for her. It was for every artist, every public figure who had been mistreated by a system more concerned with views and profits than with fairness. The billion-dollar verdict sent shockwaves through the entertainment world. Networks scrambled to reassess their practices, worried that they might be the next targets of a lawsuit. TV shows that had built their brands on controversy were forced to rethink their approach. And as for The View, their credibility had taken a massive hit, and the future of the show was now uncertain. But perhaps the biggest impact of all was on the broader conversation about media responsibility. Carrie Underwood's fight had exposed the dark side of the entertainment industry, where stars could be ruined for the sake of a few more viewers. It was a wake-up call that many in Hollywood never expected. For Carrie, though, the victory was sweet. She had stood her ground, and now not only was her reputation restored, but she had become a symbol of resilience in the face of media manipulation. Carrie Underwood's story isn't just one of talent and success, it's a story of courage, perseverance, and standing up against the media machine. In a world where public figures can be taken down by a single headline, she proved that justice can still prevail. So, what do you think of this unbelievable legal win? Did Carrie Underwood change the game for good? Let us know in the comments below. And if you're as shocked by this story as we are, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update.